Here's a harsh truth most people don't want to hear. You're not unhappy because you're failing. You're unhappy because you're comparing. And you don't even realize how often you're doing it. Every time you scroll, every time you see someone your age doing better, every time someone announces an achievement, your brain starts measuring. And quietly, you start shrinking. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. And once you understand it, you'll start seeing why you feel behind, even when you're not. Your confidence, your motivation, your self-worth. All of it can be hijacked by this one mental habit. But here's where it gets dangerous. Comparison doesn't just make you feel bad. It actually changes how you see reality. Your brain is wired to evaluate your position in a group. Thousands of years ago, this helped you survive. If you were lower status in a tribe, you had less access to food, safety, and mates. So your brain evolved to constantly ask, where do I stand? The problem: you're no longer comparing yourself to 30 people in a tribe. You're comparing yourself to millions. And not just anyone, you're comparing yourself to the highlight reel. The promotions, the perfect bodies, the travel photos, the relationship goals, the money, the success stories. You're seeing the edited version of life, but your brain treats it as raw data. And here's the painful part. Your brain doesn't compare fairly. It compares upward. Psychologists call this upward comparison. When you compare yourself to people you think are ahead of you, an upward comparison almost always creates one of three feelings: envy, shame, or inadequacy. You don't think, that's inspiring. You think, why am I not there yet? And this is where it silently destroys you, because comparison shifts your focus. Instead of asking, how can I grow? You start asking, what's wrong with me? Instead of building your own timeline, you start chasing someone else's. But here's the part nobody talks about. Comparison doesn't just steal your joy. It steals your identity. The more you compare, the more you start adjusting yourself. You change your goals. You change your personality. You change what success means to you, not because it's right for you, but because it looks right for someone else. And slowly, you stop living your life. You start performing. If that hit you, good. It means you felt it. Now here's something even deeper. Comparison creates a moving target. Let's say you finally reached the level you envied. The body, the income, the lifestyle. Do you know what happens next? Your brain finds someone above that. There is always someone richer, smarter, more attractive, more accomplished. Comparison has no finish line. It's a treadmill that speeds up the better you get. That's why some of the most successful people in the world still feel behind. Because the problem was never their level. It was the lens they were using. And here's the psychological mechanism behind it. Your brain filters evidence to confirm what you already believe. If you secretly believe you're not enough, comparison will find proof. If you believe you're behind, your brain will highlight people ahead of you. It's called confirmation bias. Your mind isn't objective. It's protective. It wants certainty more than truth. So it keeps feeding you comparisons that reinforce your insecurity. And the worst part? You start mistaking comparison for motivation. You tell yourself, I compare because it pushes me. But most of the time, it doesn't push you. It paralyzes you. It makes you hesitate. It makes you doubt. It makes you overthink. It makes you procrastinate because deep down, you don't want to try and still not measure up. So how do you break the cycle? First, understand this. Comparison is automatic, but believing it is optional. The moment you notice yourself comparing, pause. Don't judge it. Just observe it. Ask yourself, is this information helping me grow or just making me feel smaller? Second, limit exposure to artificial standards. Your brain wasn't built for endless social proof. Curate what you consume. Not everything deserves your mental energy. And finally, redefine progress. Instead of asking, am I ahead of them? Ask, am I ahead of who I was 6 months ago? That's the only comparison that builds confidence instead of destroying it. You're not behind. You're just measuring yourself against a distorted standard. And once you change the ruler, everything changes. If this made you see yourself differently, good. That means you're starting to think instead of compare. And that's how you take your power back.